I'm reading today is called The Pull Together Morning. It's actually a rather long tale from Sukuma, Tanzania. And it was collected by Carolyn Edwards, excuse me. And you can see the cover of the book. Essentially, she put 12 tales from around the world together for the winter solstice. And it was tied to sort of this 12 days of, well, today it's the 12 days of Christmas, but originally that was a pagan idea in the Roman times to kind of balance out the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. So it's a lovely idea, and there's 4 different tales that all kind of go under different themes. So we picked this one today called The Pulled Together Morning because not only is it a beautiful tale, it's of how the people of Tanzania were brought light to the earth, but it also reinforces the theme this month of being stronger together. So we have 3 readers, Andy, Paisley, and Natalie will be taking turns. So sit back and relax. I should say there are no pictures, so you're going to have to use your imagination on this one. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The Pull Together Morning. This story from the largest tribal culture in Tanzania could well have been a teaching story for the whole of the remarkable country which took its independence from Britain in the 1950s without the terrible tribal conflict and bloodshed that battered other freedom movements. Under the leadership of Julius Nyerere, Tanganyika liberated itself in 1961. In 1963, Zanzibar joined Tanganyika and became Tanzania, a combination of both countries' names. The country had never adopted the language of the colonizers, neither German nor English, and now forged its national identity based on Kiswahili, a lingua franca, and a concerted effort towards modernization. Nyerere, known as Mwalimu, the teacher, is remembered for his wisdom and endurance in Tanzania's Great Transition, his support of the African National Congress and Nelson Mandela's fight against apartheid in South Africa, and his assistance in freeing Uganda. The Sukuma, a chiefdom formed in the 1700s, live in an area called Usukuma, southwest of Lake Victoria, the largest lake in the world. Enormous rock formations called kapje punctuate the land, which feeds its people with rice, cassava, potatoes, and corn. Shamba, or farming, is a family activity here. Everyone works together to plant, weed, and harvest in order to make sure of enough food for the coming year. The words for creator God in Kisukuma, the Sukuman language, are associated with the sun. Like the great light in the sky, the creator shines the force of life onto earth. Families pray inside their homes to the gods and their ancestors, asking for strength, abundant rainfall, and prosperity. In this story, Black represents the people of Africa, blue, the color of Lake Victoria, and red, fire and life. Harambe means pull together in Swahili. Umoja means unity. Imani means faith.
In the beginning of the world, there was no sun in the sky. Everyone was falling into holes, bumping into one another, and picking a lot of fights. Lion called a meeting of all the people. Everyone came. Giraffe, zebra, antelope, monkey, cobra. They jostled and bickered with one another for a long time before Crocodile finally got their attention. Listen, people, said Crocodile. Umoja. If we're going to solve our problems, we've got to admit that despite our differences, we're all in this together. Antelope broke the sober silence that followed Crocodile's words. Harambe, she said, we've got to pull together. Yes, shouted someone else. Harambe, we've got to pull together. The crowd repeated it. Harambe, they chorused. Harambe. Then Leopard began the problem solving. Sometimes when it rains, he suggested, the sky cracks open. You know how when you can see a blaze of light on the other side of the crack? If only we could get to the other side of the sky and get some of that light for ourselves. Hyena laughed. How are we supposed to get up there, she asked. Even if we could get up there, we're too big to get through the crack, Elephant pointed out. Mouse nudged Spider and tapped Fly's wing. We're not too big, she whispered. Then in a loud voice she offered, Spider, Fly, and I will try. The people murmured hopeful approval. Wait a second, said Fly. I can't go with Spider. She'll eat me. You're forgetting, cried Monkey. Harambe, we've got to pull together. Imani, said Spider firmly. Have faith, Fly. Why would I eat you when you're helping us all get light? Fly was silent, while he thoughtfully rubbed two of his back legs together. Harambe, said Mouse, we've got to pull together. Okay, said Fly finally, I'll go. The big animals cheered, and we'll stay right here and make music for you until you return, announced Lion. Harambe, everyone shouted. Harambe. Spider spun a silver ladder to the top of the sky. Mouse and Fly climbed carefully after her. With her sharp teeth, Mouse gnawed a hole in the sky at the end of the ladder, and the three small animals squeezed themselves through to the land of the sky people. They blinked and looked at one another in the new light. Mouse's whiskers bristled delicately, and Fly's wings glittered purple and green. They could hear a faint surge of sound from the people below. Spider smiled. We did it, she said. Harambe, said Mouse, we're pulling together.
Everywhere around them in a shining grass field were the sky people moving, swish, swish to and fro. The sky people questioned their strange visitors and then took Mouse, Fly, and Spider to their king. These people want light, they told the king. They say they've come from the earth to get it. Now, the king of the sky people did not want to give these strangers light, but he also did not wish to appear stingy. He shifted on his throne, adjusted his bright robes, and pressed his fingertips together. This is not a small matter, he said importantly. I must call a meeting. Spider, Mouse, and Fly watched as the sky people gathered behind the vibrant black, red, and blue folds of a big tent. Fly winked at his companions, then flew toward the secret council. The people inside talked long and seriously, but they never noticed Fly, who had taken a place very quietly on the wall. We can't give these people light, said the king. We'll give them a test instead. They won't be able to pass it, and then I can have them killed. The king pushed back the beautiful cloth, and Fly flew quickly to Spider and Mouse. He's going to try to kill us, Fly whispered. We're going to have to pull together, said Spider. Harambe, murmured Mouse. Friends, said the king to the three small animals, my people need grass for their roofs. You may have light if, and only if, you cut down all the grass in the field by morning. The king smiled smugly. Mouse smiled back. Thank you for your generosity, O king. We will do it. What do you mean, we will do it? Cried Fly when the king had gone away. We're never going to be able to cut down all that grass. Imani, said Spider. Harambe. Mouse thought for a moment. Yes, she said. Harambe. I'll be right back. Mouse wiggled back through the hole in the sky and down the silver ladder. Soon she returned in the company of the ants, who had been making music at the bottom. They marched, feelers keeping time to the drum beats far below. Harambe, yelled the queen of the ants, and by morning, not a single stalk of grass stood in the field.
King looked uncomfortable, but he pretended to be pleased. Ah, he said, yes, well, I see you've passed the first test. But now, of course, the king paused and pressed his fingertips together. You must pass another. I will kill a cow, and you must eat all the meat by morning. The sky people brought basket after basket of freshly roasted meat. Thank you for your generosity, good people, said Spider. Fly buzzed with anticipation. But even I can't eat all that, he said sadly when the sky people had gone away. The big animals could in a second, said Mouse. Yeah, but how are they supposed to get up here, asked Spider. This is impossible, said Fly, sucking a bit of meat to comfort himself. Imani, said Spider, have faith, Fly. Hey, I've got an idea, said Mouse. The three friends looked at one another. Harambe, they said. Mouse dug long tunnels in the ground. Fly and Spider helped Mouse bury the meat in the tunnels. In the morning, not one scrap of meat lay in the baskets. Fly, Spider, and Mouse thanked the king for the delicious feast.
The king pursed his lips. He did not look happy, but he managed to smile. Congratulations, he said. Since you passed the second test, I must call another meeting. Spider and Mouse waited outside once Fly again took his silent place on the wall. The king was furious. These little people are strong, he fumed. I can see we're going to have to give them light, but I'm going to make it hard for them. Fly buzzed back and told his friends the king's plan. He's got 2 boxes, explained Fly. The black one has darkness in it. The red box has light. He's going to make us pick. Just then, the king burst through the curtain with the 2 boxes. You must choose, he said. He narrowed his eyes and traded the boxes from one hand to the other. Light or dark? He raised his eyebrows and waited. Mouse pretended to think. She said. Then quickly, before the king could change his mind, she grabbed the red box and raced for the hole in the sky. Mouse, Spider, and Fly plunged down the silver ladder into the waiting, music-making crowd below. They've returned, roared Lion. They've returned. They're back, the people yelled excitedly. Mouse's whisker trembled a little bit. We pulled together, all of us, she said in her loudest voice, and we brought you light in this box.
The crowd hushed when Spider and Fly pushed up the lid on the red box. But out of the box came not light at all. Instead, Rooster jumped out of the box. He picked up one foot, then the other, and rustled his feathers handsomely. Mouse felt her cheeks grow hot. Rooster was not light. She had been tricked by the Sky King. The people began to protest. At that moment, Rooster threw back his head. Ha, 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 Rumbe! He called out. Ha, 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 Rumbe! At once, the eastern sky filled with color. Pink and yellow it glowed, and then the sun popped fiery red into the sky. That's how it was on that very first golden pull-together morning. And Rooster has been calling up the sun for all of us ever since. Ha, 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 Rumbe!
Thank you, Natalie, Paisley, and Andy. That's a great story for the winter solstice. So again, in Swahili, Harambe means pulled together, Umoja means unity, and Imani means faith. Very much similar to what we try to say this month, together we are stronger. So in this time of darkness and connecting from a distance, let us find what the animals found in this story. Harambe, the rooster, they pulled together in the darkness. Now for some, darkness represents calm and rest and restorative healing. But yet for others, the darkness represents fear of the unknown and frustration. Like the animals, they were falling into holes, kind of a metaphor of aloneness and depression. They were bumping into one another because they couldn't see each other. And it said they were picking a lot of fights. Now, perhaps that's because they didn't see each other clearly. Well, Imani, they had faith that they could bring the light to the earth. So regardless of what darkness means to you, have faith that the light will return and we can bring light into our own spiritual well-being. Umoja, they showed unity just as we do today, right here, as we come together to celebrate both the darkness and the returning of the light. So sing a song together, dream a dream together, walk in rain or snow together, metaphorically or physically and safely, or share a rose together, the opening rose that reaches out to the light of the sun. My friends, let us celebrate the winter solstice as an opportunity to move on with the faith that there will be better days ahead. Blessed be.